All right. Well, season 3, episode 6.
There we go.
Stand still and see. Stand still and drink.
Okay. All right. Well, wow.
All right, bad luck.
Cheers. Come on. Let's
Is it
say
actually
before-
bad luck to sit before cheersing? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I think it is.
There's so many customs around cheersing. Who knows?
Well, eyes are important. Doing the eyes,
Yes,
and
of
then
course.
which I did give you eyes, so I'm fine.
Of course, yeah. True. All right, yeah. Here we go.
You know who's in bad luck though? It's Rue, our little Rue.
She's got she has a path through.
Maybe.
Yeah. The way is clear, but it's not going to be easy.
You think it's clear? I would say I don't think it's very clear, and I don't think anyone would agree with you on that. It's pretty
I think her path
50-50.
out is clear. You know, what needs to be done and the way events need to unfold and what she needs to
Sure.
do is very clear. It's like, there is one way that she gets out of this and she knows exactly how everything needs to fit together. And there is a way out for her as long as everything
As
goes
long as
according to
she's-
plan. I'm sure it won't. And, maybe she'll make it out anyways and maybe she won't. But there is the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, we know what, how the pieces need to move for
Sure.
everything to work out for Rue.
Well, overall, I
We'll
guess
see.
before we begin recapping, just general vibes, thoughts. Were you excited about this
Another
episode?
great episode, yeah, absolutely. It's just like, banger after banger.
I agree.
The season's just like been like this. It started great and it's only gotten better and this is a total banger,
I agree.
I know it was like last week was incredible, but that's more of like a personal favorite.
Sure. The internet was definitely super divided. I feel like the table is almost flipped and that anyone that's been hating it so far loved this episode. Anyone that's been loving it so far was like, this one was a little boring. Meaning they weren't like hating, but they were definitely like, this was the more boring of the season. And I think to that, I will say, I feel like every season of a show, there's always maybe an episode that, sure, is it one that like stands out to me that I'm going to rewatch a bunch, or does it stick with me? Not all the time. And I will be honest, this one was that for me. I think there were pieces of it that really stood out that I'll get into later. But I think like as a whole package, it wasn't like a episode that Paige, the biggest fan of Euphoria, will return to often.
Interesting. I'm a little surprised by that. We got a lot of Rue depth and,
Sure.
Rue character moments here, which I feel like is a big draw for, why a lot of people love the show.
I agree. Meaning, like I said, I'll dive into what I liked about it later, which you just
of course.
pretty much said. But like,
Sure,
you know what I
so,
mean?
yeah.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying like you nailed it. Like you know me really
Yeah.
well. Like those are the parts I enjoyed about it. But as a whole, I did feel it was a little bit of I hate saying a filler episode because I don't believe in that. Like I do think it's a good.
Interesting.
I think it was necessary. Like we got a lot of backstory that was necessary. We're kind of moving in the right direction, but I think it's because this season is so different. It's just telling a different story. So I do think it was a little more of like an episode just providing context than it was for me like a Euphoria standout.
Wow. I'm surprised to hear that.
Really?
I thought it was an excellent episode. I thought it did a great job raising the stakes, making it clear what the stakes were, and, setting everything up for the last 2 episodes, which are where, things obviously always really pop off. I thought it was the perfect, serve it up for that, but done in a way that to me did not feel like a filler by any means. I thought,
I said, I don't like to use the word
the tension
filler.
just got cranked up even more, and this week, we kind of drop some of the funnier, bits that have shown up earlier in the season. It's tighter and more serious, so I'm a little surprised that it's getting the filler label when I feel like what you could say would be fillery about this season is more like the comedy bits, the ridiculous parts with the sex toy scenery and the whole dream sequence with destroying the city. This doesn't have anything like that. This was all
I'm right in the middle.
Yeah.
It's hard not to go too long. I feel like we gotta start talking about the episode because then I'll be able to provide examples. But I do want to make it very, very clear, I did not feel this was a filler episode. I'm talking about this through Paige's lens of like being obsessed with Euphoria. This was similar to other episodes from other seasons that I think are amazing. Again, Euphoria has the bar so high that when I say an episode's like a little not as good as the others, that means it's like some of the best TV I've ever seen.
Of course.
So I just want to like make that clear.
Yeah.
I was not bored at all. I
Yeah.
definitely thought this episode had depth.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? But I'm saying
Yeah,
like
I
for the
understand.
fandom, for me being so obsessed, this one was fell lower on the scale. That's all.
Got it. All right. Fair.
Does that make it a little more like understandable?
Yeah, sure.
Because I want to be like.
It can also change, depending on. I think it's hard to tell until you see the whole series.
Sure.
It can change how you feel about things. But yeah, I understand what you mean.
I can't tell you how many times too I've rewatched season 1 and 2 and I've loved episodes that I didn't like at first. So I do feel like Euphoria is one of those where I always have to like rewatch it a couple times to find nuance and things maybe I missed before. Or sometimes it'll trigger emotions that I didn't feel the first time watching, especially because we're podcasting. Alex and I say this all the time, but I do feel like because I have to extra pay attention and like catch extra details, it feels sometimes a little more like an assignment. So when I get like the time off after the podcast and I get to just watch it for fun and not have this like weight of like I have to like talk about it the next day, be very aware of what's going on, I think I enjoy it more. So, and that's just the truth. Like I do get to, sit there and actually enjoy it a little more. But
I feel the same way. It's nice to revisit it without that pressure.
Yeah.
Before we get into the episode, do we have any notes to catch up on? We did not get any. We didn't get anybody telling us we were wrong this week, which was a good reminder to shout it out. That we have bitch. You better be joking. Which is a really fun feature where you can call in and tell us why we suck and what we're wrong about, and leave us a voicemail with all your thoughts and dump all of that on us. And we've kind of forgotten to plug that a little bit on the show, so there
just
you
a little
go.
bit.
It's all over the social media,
season.
but not everybody follows us on social media. So if you want to tell us that we're idiots and or offer an interesting alternate perspective, a different take, a prediction.
Sure, I was actually gonna say too. Like, I don't want anyone to feel intimidated. You don't have to tell us we're wrong. You can also literally just call in and give a hot take.
Yeah, sure.
Like we don't care. And I feel like this season is the most controversial yet, and there's so many like interesting opinions online that I would love to hear it from people who actually like listen weekly and have some sort of basis for what you and I talk about.
Yeah. So there's the weekly plug for that.
Yeah.
Also, we got a really nice comment the other day from someone that said they really appreciate how much we dissect all the kind of like film history and theory and just get really fucking nerdy about the cinema aspect of it.
Cinema.
Which was really sweet and appreciated. And for anyone that likes that, you should follow me on Letterboxd at Young Chicken Nugget, YUNG.
Plug.
Actually, it's just at Young Chicken, no Nugget. Different platform.
I'll plug it.
At Young Chicken.
Sure.
Yeah. What else? Was there anything else?
Someone
called us. Someone said we were gooners for Sydney Sweeney.
No, not we. They said you were a gooner for Sydney Sweeney on a TikTok comment, and I thought that was hilarious.
Insane.
Alex loved getting that.
Could not be further from the truth.
I don't know, Alex. Is there something you want to tell everybody?
It's not for me. Not for me, dog.
Oh, we did have some fun this weekend. We put up some like posters all over New York City, just marketing, and we did like a funny one that was like a Sam Levinson fan club poster, and definitely getting some looks, some stares in New York City while posting. But yeah, we've been having fun. I mean, again, this season's been quite controversial. Every season is crazy with Euphoria, but I will say this one has been the most polarizing, I would say, in terms of
This one was pretty dramatic as well.
Yes, in different ways. I think this one, though, it's like almost like I can't read reviews without eye rolling the entire time, where I feel like season 1 and 2, there was a bit more nuance. There was some appreciation for art. It's now just like complete, utter, like psychotic, like shit.
I feel like people don't really know what fetish means.
Thank
like,
you.
it
That
means,
comes
like,
up over and over again. I'm like, do you know?
There is like an attraction element there.
Yes.
Like, the thing is supposed to be hot. Like, it's not usually presented as like disgusting. Even if the act is like hypothetically disgusting, it's still supposed to be presented in an erotic, arousing manner, not like it's a joke. Like, it's disgusting.
I know what you mean.
Like, it's a punchline. That's not really like a fetish if you're using it as a punchline.
No, and it's like, are we really gonna sit here and say Sam Levinson has like 95 fetishes at this point? Like, every week I see a new fetish that's added to the list. I'm like, maybe we should start tallying.
Just because something's referenced in Euphoria doesn't mean the creator is a fetishist.
Yeah, it's insane.
Anyways.
Also, the only thing I will say though that I liked, I showed Alex, like Sam Levinson did I think it was like a variety. They got together a bunch of film producers, directors, and writers, and they were asking them questions. And I really liked finding out that Sam looks at Twitter while watching Euphoria. He said, you know, me and my wife, we have all of our friends come over. Yeah. She pulls up Twitter. I'm like scrolling the whole time, looking at what people are saying. I appreciate that because that means, A, this man has a sense of humor because everyone's saying some crazy ass shit out there. Mm-hmm. And also, like, for all these people that act like he's just doing everything he can to, like, not appease the fans, I'm not saying he's, like, considering every fan perspective when, like, writing, but it does show that he, like, gives a shit. Like, he clearly is someone, not every director's like that. Some directors just put their shit out and they're like, I don't care to know. And I think it just shows that, like, there is a small part of him for people out there that don't think that. I do think he kind of enjoys people talking about it. I don't think he gives a shit if they agree or, like, they're into it, but I think he enjoys the discussion. And I kind of am the same way. Like, Alex and I were saying, like, even on the podcast, like, the very few, obviously our scale is very small compared to, like, Euphoria, but I enjoy getting feedback, like, negative and positive. I think it's, like, fun. It's fun to comb through. It's interesting what people have to say about what you're putting out into the world. So I thought that was kind of fun.
I agree.
So Sam Levinson fan club until we find out, you know, anything otherwise. Hopefully not.
Until the allegations drop.
And I just don't think they will.
I don't either. I'm just kidding.
But, okay. Anyways, to dive in, I think we gotta get going.
Yeah. Alamo cold open.
I love it.
Banger. I don't think I actually said this last week, but I thought it and meant to say it. I was going to say that Alamo is such a great character that I would love, like, a prequel about him.
Oh, really?
I'm not someone that needs a prequel about every character and their backstory in the world, but he is such a great character that I was thinking, an Alamo prequel would be great, and then we kind of got one this week.
Yeah. I agree with you. Like, a lot of people, I can't stand...
The origin story.
I can't stand in the comments when people bring up the most, like, sidebar characters and they want so badly some backstory. I'm like, no, we don't need every single character in Euphoria's backstory.
But it does go to show that they create such intriguing characters that you're like, what's Bishop's life like?
Right.
Like, you know, I'd watch a movie about Bishop.
For sure.
But, yeah, the Alamo origin story was great, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't even know where to begin. First of all, I feel so sad for baby Alamo. He's so cute. Like, genuinely.
It was a tearjerker. What a heartbreaking story, you know?
Yeah, and boy,
explains a lot.
The opening line of him saying, or Rue narrating that his mom was, like, the coldest. I'm like, yeah, because fuck her, dude. Sorry, but, like, ew.
Brutal.
Hate her because I wrote Preston, my king. I wrote Hershey King on my notes. I mean, I just thought, I've heard a lot of stories actually too. I don't know. I feel like you would agree with me. Like, some of the most heartbreaking stories are ones similar to this, where, like, a kid has a single parent, someone enters their life that then just, like, you know, it's just normal, like, adults fight, they break up. In this case, it was a lot more dramatic, but, like, it is, like, traumatizing for a young child to lose someone in their life that was kind of, like, in this case, kind of like a lighthouse in a way. Like, it seems like him and his mom clearly don't have this, like, super strong relationship, and she's very aloof, and Preston kind of gave him this sweet, like, endearing... Yeah. You know, it was cute. Like, they were really bonding. So it made me so sad for him as a kid. You're like, that's awful. Yeah. Says a lot. Gives a lot of context. And it
explains everything about Alamo.
Which is interesting. I was going to tell you, like, internet seemed a little divided on a lot of people were like, that gave me nothing. And I actually couldn't disagree more. I was like, I feel like this depicts perfectly a lot about how Alamo's moving now through adulthood. And I mean, I have some questions for you, but I saw online that a lot of people were like, listen, I like how it was done, but did we really need this? I'm like, yeah, we really needed this. And I do think it was done well.
He's the main villain of,
Yeah.
one of the main characters of season 2.
Sure.
And he's going to play a huge part in however Rue's life turns out. So
it's pretty important.
I don't mind having the background
No.
on why
I
and
loved
how
it.
he thinks. And I mean, in terms of why and how he thinks, he learned from his mom that people are resources. Like, he doesn't treat people like people. He treats them like, what's the value I can extract from you? Because that's how his mom
totally
treated people. That's what he saw from her, was that it's not about, it has nothing to do with treating people right or as other human beings. It's like, you have to look at them and say, what can I get from them? What can I take from them? And you kind of have this, like, heartless, like, they're a resource, literally, like,
Which I would understand if they were in, like, survival mode and were super poor, but, like, in the beginning, they were just kind of, like, normal. I wouldn't say they were, like, dirt poor, like, struggle. Like, they were just, I just wasn't getting that vibe, so I'm like, yeah, fuck the mom. Meaning I would have, like, kind of understood it more if they were in a really bad place.
No, that was just straight evil.
So evil.
Because the thing is, like, if it was survival, then she could have just conned him and then just stayed with him, and then they would have been taken care of.
You're right.
She was serving her own selfish, like, purposes, and, like, she wanted to be with this other guy and get his, like, money and riches. And,
so sad. Preston.
Yeah, it was
terrible. Played by Kwame Patterson, who was great.
From The Wire.
Yeah, The Wire.
Great.
That was a great performance.
Great. He was excellent. But also about Alamo, we learn, where his Western obsession came from.
So cute.
We learned that he was big into cowboy Western stuff. In particular, I was looking at the movie that he has the poster for, called Harlem Rides the Range. And when I looked it up on Wikipedia, I was interested because it calls it a Western race film. And I didn't know what a race film was. So I looked that up. And it's a genre produced in the U.S. between 1915 and the 50s, consisting of films produced for black audiences and featuring black casts. But they were usually financed by white producers, and they were usually scripted and directed by white directors, but not always.
Interesting.
And then this is really crazy. There were about 500 produced, but less than 100 remain today. Partially just because film preservation was not considered really a priority during that time, but also because these were produced outside of Hollywood, like outside of the main studio system, and were just kind of like overlooked and not really deemed like preserving.
Damn.
And then in the 80s,
sad.
Apparently BET started showing them on TV
Oh,
and kind
yeah.
of like resurfaced like an interest in them, and then since then people have paid more attention. But I thought that was all.
That is really cool.
Pretty interesting and something I'd never come across before.
Yeah, I loved in the opening credit when he had the gun and like shot it. I feel like also, just to make a note, I put a side note that like all the opening credits this season have been excellent. Compared to other.
For sure.
I feel like season 1 and season 2 were like black screen, just normal font, banger song was always like how it introed. But I'm liking the change in tone. I like the yellow font and the no music. It's just kind of like a silent moment. Cool.
I agree. I've been liking those a lot too.
I wrote 2. So interestingly enough, I actually have it on my phone because it's a lot. But so a lot of people were saying that Alamo's backstory was similar to a book called Pimp, The Story of My Life. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's about a pimp, Iceberg Slim, and apparently he was the most notorious pimp of the 20th
I've never
century.
read it, but I do know who Iceberg Slim is.
I'll read
I've
heard
about his life and like
really?
familiar somewhat.
So I'll read a tiny for those that don't know, because Alex already kind of knew about it. But in 1969, it's an autobiographical novel by Robert Beck, better known as Iceberg Slim, detailing his life as a pimp in Chicago's underworld from the 40s to 60s. The book offers a raw, unflinching look at the sex trade, street life, and exploitation, becoming a classic hustler's tale that's influenced many writers, entertainers, and filmmakers. The reason, though, that people are kind of like pulling that out and saying Sam must have been influenced by it is, I guess, in the story, Iceberg, growing up, had a stepfather named Henry. And it's like kind of the exact same story. Like his mom kind of like used him. I think it's not, I wouldn't say verbatim exact, but it's based
Right.
upon his story.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what led him to be like a troubled man in
Yeah.
the pimp world, if you will.
Uh-huh.
So interesting. Like clearly Sam throughout Euphoria has pulled influences from, again, we talked about it last episode, a lot of his favorite movies, books, who knows. So I'm not positive if like he pulled it directly from this, but a lot of people were like, if you've read a book, this is the
Probably.
one that's very similar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you were going to write a pimp character, that would be probably
Sure.
a fundamental text you would consult, so that
Sure.
makes sense.
Yeah, so just wanted to throw that out there for anyone that wants a good book rec for the summer.
Yeah.
Iceberg Slim's autobiographical novel.
Hell yeah.
Read that by the pool.
Just some light reading.
Yeah, light reading.
Yeah, I mean, it is the perfect background for a pimp. Like,
Yeah.
you're someone that, your money makers are people, but you have to treat them not like people. You have to,
Yep.
work them
Resources.
into the
objects.
ground and extract their value, and then you have to be ready to be like, all right, you're not
Sure.
bringing any value anymore, you're out, somebody else is in.
I had a question for you. So they even talk about it in the behind the scenes, the after like HBO thing they do after the episode where they just talk about it. They were talking about how they like kind of built the strip club, paying homage to like his mom.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, super cool. Love all the details in that. But I was thinking, like, why do you think Alamo do you think it's complicated? Or, like, why does he even want to pay homage to his mom, knowing that that's, like, what she did? Like, I was thinking, like, God, I hate her. Like, she sucks. Like, she did something bad. And at the end, he seems really, like, sad about it. Like, as a kid, he, like, goes to his room and is kind of like, well, fuck. And then what's the line? He says, like, I'll never let a bitch outsmart me again. So I took that as, like, he holds a lot of anger. Like, I'm not going to let some woman, like, con me again. But then here he is in the strip club kind of emulating a lot of her taste, a lot of the things that she lusted after. Do you think he just got a little, again, like, do you think it's complicated in that a part of him does look up to her?
Well, she taught him the most important lesson in his life, like the lesson that's
But you
informed
just said,
his whole life is
Sure.
like, I'm not ever gonna get tricked again. And that to him and like her treatment of people have become his defining characteristics. So I think it makes sense. Like, he learned what he views as
But she
fundamental to
sucks.
like living through the world.
She
He
was
was
mean
like,
to
this is
Preston.
how but he learned that was how you like get by in the world and survive. And even if he didn't like it as a kid, it clearly became ingrained in him that like that's
Got
how you
it.
treat people. And that also, like, even if he, I think it's pretty common that characters, even if they like don't necessarily like their mother, there's many characters in fiction who are like, she was also still like the most influential person in my life, where
Sure.
it's like a classic trope where it's like, I learned like the most important lesson that defines who I am from my mother. And that's very much the case for him. So everything he's built, he does have to owe to her, because she taught him to never get like tricked by a bitch and to, exploit the hell out of people.
Yeah.
And that's how he built everything he has. So it does make sense to me that he would pay homage to her in that way, especially
Sure.
with this like, strip club that's kind of probably when he built it was like the crowning achievement of his career thus far.
Sure. And a part of that
it would
is
make
to his
sense
mom.
to be like,
Got
like
it.
I'm referencing,
I guess I just
shouting
thought it
out
was
my mom
interesting he
here,
didn't
like-
channel more anger, because as a kid I would have been so pissed that my mom did that, and then I think my way of moving through would have been like hating women, I guess. Like,
But even if you like, yeah.
meaning I'm surprised that he like seems to. You're right though. He objectifies women. It's not like he's like a woman lover, but he definitely leans more into like the ladies.
He may revere her without loving her.
Sure.
Um,
Also,
we don't
I
know
mean-
about their life before. She said his dad was shitty, so
True.
she was looking after him as a single mom for who knows how long. So we only get this one story from his life.
Of course. And Rude does narrate
know.
that she like Alamo was her prized possession, and she doesn't really make it seem like
Right.
that. But I get what you're saying. That's
In
a
her
very
own
it's a
way.
one story.
It's complicated,
out
I
of
guess,
many.
is the
Sure.
the long
I just thought that
story
was
short.
kind of
But yeah, in terms of the strip club, I did think after like you said that on the rewatch, I paid attention to like what specifically, and the things I noted most were like the big cats. Obviously, they have this big prominent panther painting, which was So
nice.
Good. And he's got the cats all over the strip club. And the other thing was like the snakeskin walls. That apartment they move into has like yellowy snakeskin wallpaper.
So cool.
And then the booth they're in later has like black snakeskin walls.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean that whole set, their house.
Obviously, in general, it's just kind of like
chef's kiss.
Late 70s, anyways. But
yeah,
that's what I noticed particularly.
Their pad was so sick, so good. Yeah. It was like, you know, very how cool. Fun would it be to collect all those pieces and put that together?
So cool.
Well, then unless you have anything else about Alamo's backstory, I feel like we kind of covered a lot of it.
Let's go.
We go immediately from that to Poopphoria again.
Wow.
Do they really have to have the farting sounds? I was dying.
I know. Oh my god.
On the rewatch, we've watched it twice now. The first time I didn't hear like the farting, and then the second I was like,
it's so gross.
Like, okay, we just don't need Poopphoria anymore. I'm done. That's where I have outrage. Sam, if you're listening, I'm kidding.
We've had diarrhea in what, every episode? Maybe one we didn't have it.
Well, and I'm like, hey, Rue's buried her head out of the ground. You're about to die, bitch. And you're like, yeah, same girl. Like, I hate having diarrhea. Anyways.
Well, Rue's got to play her, but jeez.
I know, but I'm still dying. I'm like, of course, like, that's where she's at in life. But yeah, okay, Faye is...
Yeah, what's going on with Faye? Nothing good.
Oh my god. Okay, so we were wrong. I definitely don't think, obviously, she wants to fuck these people over anymore. I think she really is, like, sold on the romance story. I think... Oh, do you have another take? You gave eyes, like...
Oh, no, I mean...
I think she really is in love.
Well, like, she definitely loves the Nazi guy. Yeah. For real. I think she still helps out Rue.
Oh, yeah,
you know, she's not, like, not fucking them over. She is helping Rue, like, steal from them.
No, I meant... In the beginning, like, episode 1, I think you and I said, like, we think Faye is gonna, like, rob Lori with, like, Rue. I'm like, I'm past that. I think she's very loyal now.
She is. They're doing that. She is robbing Lori with Faye.
Oh, that's true.
Or with Rue, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
She's not really, though. I thought she was just giving her access to it to, like, take it back. That's not, like, robbing. Oh, but she gets half the money. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, she's totally robbing them.
Whatever.
And, you know, maybe she doesn't love the Nazi that much after all, if she's, like, picking the money and... You know, stuff anyway. But whatever.
I wrote down, I hear what you're saying, but I think the bringing up Fezco for her was like why she did it. I don't think I think it is a tough decision for her. Like, actually, I don't know if she would have done it if she wouldn't have brought up Fezco.
No way. That's what sealed the deal.
I also wrote, I find it interesting, or not interesting, just like kind of funny how I also think Faye, in a sad way, like, because she's just so all over the place. And to be fair, we don't know her backstory, but she's clearly, like, was kind of a hot mess before even showing up on Euphoria. I feel like her watching Pretty Woman, it's interesting that she's now, I think, in love with this guy because he's showing her a lot of attention. And if you remember, he's like pulling her all sexily on the bed and he's like, do you want those designer clothes, babe? Like, what about those mani petties? And she's sold. She
wants the Pretty Woman.
Yeah. So I think it's funny. Sure. I think she's like, she was watching like a lot of movies with Fez too. So I was just thinking like, it's kind of stupid and naive, but I think she's like living through the movies. Like, I think this is her version of Pretty Woman, which is hilarious because it's literally falling in love with a Nazi, which is insane.
She wants the hood princess, rags to riches scenario. Yeah. You know? She wants to go from eating the fried chicken and drinking PBR to eating better fried chicken and drinking champagne.
Chinkin?
Chicken.
Okay, I'd be all here for it if he wasn't a Nazi, obviously, but... I mean, I love that he goes, or I don't love, but insane that he goes, all you better be carrying in that belly are some fair-skinned babies. I was like, oh my God.
I was cracking up when he said, last thing I need for you to be giving birth to some creepy crawlies.
I was like, Jesus.
That was killing me.
Insane.
Oh, yeah, the swastika tramp stamp is really next level.
I also wanted to bring up, I paused my TV screen to see if I could see what was in that damn safe, because you and I were saying, what if there's something else in there that Alamo wants that's not just the money? And I didn't see anything, so maybe I was a little far-fetched on that. I don't know if there is anything in there other than money.
We'll see. I'm not sure.
I did like pause and like looked around. It was just guns and money. So I'm like,
there's drawers and bags and stuff.
Sure.
We'll see.
I don't know.
But yeah, I agree. Like, I liked the I liked that Rude got her to do it with the Fez call out, because I think it shows that he's still, even like in absence, he's still like such a crucial figure in the show, which speaks to how influential he was, especially in season 2. And also like how much he's had Rue's back, where it's like even when he's in prison, he's still like saving Rue's ass. You know?
Totally.
I thought that was kind of cool that they did that. I like
really
that.
sweet, and it made sense for the plot, like you said, and
yeah, because her and Fez did have like Faye and Fez did have a good relationship.
They did,
so it made sense.
And just as it was like blossoming into possibly like something, like they were becoming such good friends right when everything went down, which is sad. So yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, then she does the little bye, my Nazi lover, and they had the Lori showdown, which
that guy's gonna get blown away at some point.
Oh, I hope so.
There's no way he's coming out of this season.
God, please strike this man down. I can't stand him. I love though the whole scene of like him leaving, her like making out with him, like the cinematic like Western vibe of like the truck is like him getting on the steed and like riding off to like go do this big brave thing. And I love when Alamo's like sitting in his, I love that window that he has behind him, and you can see the car like behind him like coming up the hill. It's just like, again, the cinematography blows me away every time. It just makes everything so epic when it's something like that you could just see as so funny and like simple, like a Nazi waving to his Nazi lover is like somehow cinematic and draws you in. But
yeah, there was some I actually noticed that there was some really cool shots and like camera work in this episode. I like the one when Rue's in the church a lot, when they come from behind on like that long slow like
so cool. It's like kind of eerie
dolly shot, and then like swing around and look back at her. I thought that was like a really cool one. There were some others, but yeah,
a lot of notable ones.
Nice. Good
looking. We get the Lori showdown.
Yeah, the meat.
Damn, Lori doesn't know what she's getting into.
Dude, I was thinking that too. I was like, Lori really has some balls. Like, she walks in there casual as hell. Like, nice house. I'm sorry things got so, like, so tense between us. Like, so fucking casual about all this. Like, damn.
I wrote the white folk are not scared. The white folk aren't scared. Like, the way that Nazi boy sits in that chair, puts his feet up, and like starts to like act like he's about to pour himself a drink. I'm like, are you insane? 3 like giant black men enter the room that are like double your size with like guns out, pointed pretty much at you, and he's still like talking smack. I just think it's wild. I'd be scared out of my mind.
You gotta be ballsy in those situations, but it seems like they really just don't know what they're fucking with. And maybe I'll be wrong, but to me it seems like Alamo is so much more organized and sharper. Like there's and plus Bishop, like there's no way him and Bishop are not gonna run circles around these guys.
No,
they're gonna have a showdown, and I feel like there's no way Alamo doesn't come out on top. And it seems like Lori's like and her crew have just grossly underestimated how mismatched this fight is. I guess. I was thinking that too.
It was a little unsettling how chill they were. I was like, come on. But I loved Rue being in the middle, like slinking in her chair, just like, I also wrote, again, I'm not going to lie, I find it baffling that no one's noticed when she's putting her phone out.
I don't think it's that weird. I always take my phone out of my pocket when I sit down, pretty much. And I think a lot of people do. I don't think it's too weird.
Well, I also was thinking
plus they're all doing like the most gnarly drug deal in the world, so they're like way more
they're not worried about
Rue. The Nazis in the house than they are about Rue.
Totally.
But I'm sure Bishop's taking note of all that. He's got her number. He's like,
I know.
He's got her number.
What do you think about the plan, the ambulance, transferring the fentanyl? Like, I guess, okay, I was I'm not surprised, but I was a little like, that was quick. Like, for him to just quickly be like, sure, like, yeah, I'll get in on this with you after they robbed him and, like, humiliated him like that at his club. I guess I was just kind of surprised, but a part of me is like, does he have a choice? Like, it's business.
Well, he knows he's going to fuck them, so he's just agreeing to whatever this is in the short term. He's not really, none of this is ever even going to happen. They're going to hit them soon, way before this ever goes down, I'm sure.
Oh. I don't know. That's up in the air for me.
I think he's just like no matter
Playing
what
long
it
game.
was, he's gonna say yes to it because the goal is to just like make it seem like they're at peace until he can hit her back.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has to sell it, but yeah, I don't think that he's concerned about what the specifics of the plan. He's just gonna say yes to smooth things over. But I mean, you know,
Lori and her fucking.
if it is a good deal, he's also a businessman, and he's probably not going to turn down like a giant deal, like a millions and millions of dollar profit if it's a good deal. He's not going to he's too much of an egomaniac to forget and actually like forgive her. But maybe if the deal does go down, he's like, well, I can profit from this and then fuck her anyways. So maybe he'll do it and then screw her over. But he's not going to forget. They're all going down. But
I hope so.
The deal's just, you know, superficial.
Yeah, Lori in her fucking sweatpants and stupid sweater. She's so dumb. I love when he pulls her in and she's like all shocked. I'm like, bitch, are you kidding me? You weren't already this scared? Like,
she wasn't. She goes in and goes, thanks for having us.
She's like, oh, this is a nice house.
I was like, what? Are you kidding me? It is a very nice house. But it really, I mean, it's such a great house.
She needs to wake up.
She's
wake up
She's
call.
going to wake up soon enough.
She's going to wake up. I hope so. But yeah, should we talk about Maddie a little bit?
I was going to say, like, at the end of all that, when Rue talks to the DEA, I feel like you can tell, like, that she feels some kind of pride for doing well at this. Like, and I think it was a good way to show that Rue's so lost that she's just always looking for some kind of validation. Like, first it was, like,
that's sad.
The drug mule thing, and then she was, like, feeling really good about being the manager at the strip club, and now she's, like, kind of, like, feeling good about, like, doing good for the DEA. Like,
performing
it feels
well.
like it's more than, like, oh, I just am saving my own skin. It feels like she actually feels, like, a little, like, you know, pride at, like, having done a good job. And it's like, you know, it is sad.
Well, I mean, through all 3 seasons, we're seeing that she's constantly finding, you know, some sort of purpose in a chaotic life. And she's been dealt a lot of hard cards. There's a reason she's on this, like, horrible drug path. And, you know, it didn't just come out of nowhere. She went through a lot. And I think she's just trying to find her place. But, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. But you're so right. She definitely is kind of like... You can tell she's like, like, okay, like, I did it, like...
Yeah.
Oh, poor Rue.
And that's
it literally breaks my heart. It's really sad. Like, her whole trajectory is really, really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It always gets me. Like, it totally, like, is gut-wrenching. It's super sad.
She's a great character. Yeah.
So good. Well, then we get Maddie at the club. Mm-hmm. And she's pulling, like, Coyote Ugly. She's got the ladies. She's got them ready to go. You know, it was we didn't get a ton of Maddie in this episode, but from what we did get, I was going to say, I feel like she does not know what she's getting herself into. I at first did, though. I thought at the diner, we kind of stood on, like, I don't know. I had a sense that maybe Maddie was a little more confident. And in this one, I was like, damn, I was wrong. She definitely is a little naive and has no clue what she's agreed to. And I think, personally, I did not get any vibe that her and Alamo are clicking anymore. I think maybe that was like a fun little moment where maybe it was a little exciting to think that these two would come together and build something, and we're always rooting for Maddie, but in this moment, I was like, oh, Maddie's just another, like you said, just another resource. Like, I don't think he actually has any interest in her outside of, like, ends to means. Like, the way he was talking to Bishop and was like, am I crazy or am I just some wet pussy looking to get fucked? And Maddie looked, baffled that he was getting so upset. I'm like, girl... You're asking him to take his 2 main strippers out just so they can catch a break? Like, do you know who you're, like, working with?
Yeah, but I think he's got so much else going on. This is, like, the lowest priority for him right now. And he's not, like... I
still don't think she knows what she's getting herself into.
I'm not so sure. Like, I think that caught her a little off guard, but she also didn't pitch it right. Like, the reason to... She didn't come at him with, like, the money. The money is, like, you give them the time off. I can introduce them to this person, this person, this person, totally. Grow their social profile, like, this much, and, like, that's going to be, like, big money returns on the back end.
She kind of presented it like a vacation.
Yeah,
he's like, what are you talking about, girl?
Like, and that's probably because she has a heart, but she didn't pitch that right at all, and he didn't see the dollar signs there, and that's on her. And I don't know if it is as representative of, like, such a big schism as you think. I took it as, like, he's just, like, everything's kind of like frustrating for him right now. He's dealing with like this whole big drug scenario, and then she's over here being like, "Can I
take your main
Can
girls.
I get vacation for these girls?" And he's like, "Hell no!" Like, you know. So I don't think it's quite as big a deal.
Can these two girls get some PTO?
I also didn't think he was like still not into Maddie. Like, I think, you know, he's still like apologizing for Bishop being kind of weird, and her and Bishop like. At the end, he's kind of like, you know, I don't think she's he says that he doesn't know if Maddie's trying to fuck Alamo. Like, fuck him over. And
Bishop has her back.
Maddie kind of like smiles at him. And I was like, you know, I think she's in this. I think she's definitely in this world for good.
Oh, I kind of wavered. I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. I'm kind of 50-50. Like, I'm not sold either way, but I was a little nervous for Maddie. I was like, I don't know if you really know.
She's definitely getting the look at like where that path leads though. Like if you want to treat these girls like they're meat and exploit them, this is what it looks like. You work them to the bone, like she was working Cassie to the bone, and they don't get days off.
Yeah,
like,
they don't get to get PTO the day in the town to meet and network. Like that's not the way this world works.
Right.
In his eyes, at least, in Alamo's eyes.
But yeah. There's potential there for them if she wants to be, you know, if she wants to be savvy and sell it to him.
Yeah,
he could make that money. You know, she is smart and she's right, and it would be a good opportunity. So if she wants to stay on this path, I don't know. I think they could make a lot of money together.
Are you dying at Cassie with the snake?
Yeah, Cassie with the snake was funny. I also liked like the saloon door like falling off as Rosalie was trying to lean on it.
Totally, it was good.
That was funny.
It was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see where Maddie ends up, but yeah, I'm a little worried for her, but we'll see.
She's fine.
She's strong.
She can handle herself.
She can.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I thought this next transition to Rue and Jules I thought this was one of the more intense, which is funny because the whole episode has a ton of like tense scenes, but I really liked this scene a lot.
It was very good.
I thought the music was excellent. I thought it was really like over the top. Like I kept picturing like, oh, this would have been like so cool in theaters. Like it was just very cinematic. Shout out Hunter Schafer. Like her art really is cool. Like watching her do that in real time, how fast she was going, and like it was cool.
That was cool.
Like all the black, the actual sketch of like the body that she was painting on there. I was like, damn, it was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I have a lot though to break down in this scene personally. I thought it was
take it away
kind of complex. I did love that Rue kind of said, I have in quotes, maybe all my mistakes led me to the right place after all. It's kind of similar to what you said about her feeling proud talking to the D. I think she's just constantly finding, I don't want to say excuse, but just something to be like, oh, like she's just finding something to grasp onto to go, oh, this is like my purpose, or
totally.
Of course I'm at Jules, like duh, like this is why I've been making all these bad decisions. Not because I've like actually actively just been making poor decisions. It's because it led me to Jules, and like the next minute it could be it led me here. It could be this. So that struck out to me. It made me sad. I think she's literally grasping for straws at this point. It's kind of
she's trying to find something to live for. She's trying to find hope. You know, she's in a pretty terrible situation, and she's looking for the idea that it's, you know, all serving a bigger purpose, which is why she's so into religion right now. Yeah. What if it's all part of my redemption, salvation arc? What if it all was meant to happen and it's part of the bigger plan? You know, what if I'm serving a bigger purpose and what I'm doing?
Sure.
You know, for
sure. You know what I
sure.
find interesting? Speaking of all the religious nuance, to be critical, I do feel like a lot of people, especially in Christianity, they do this. Like, you find excuses, or, you know, like I wrote down, a lot of people are saying that, like, the stand still and see is the modern day Christian, like, phrase of let go and let God. It's very, like, to me, it can be kind of cringy because it's, like, not taking accountability. It's kind of like, oh, just, like, let go and, like, let God. Like, instead of sometimes, and hear me out, like, every now and then, fine. But, like, there are some things in life, like what Rue's going through, where I'm like, honey, there's no letting go and letting God. You gotta, like, put on your big girl boots, like, pull up the bootstraps, like, take some accountability.
It kind of aligns with what Maddie's viewpoint was last
Yes.
week. It's like glorifying a passivity and or, you know, a very passive response to things in your own life. And
Yeah.
I don't personally really vibe with that. I think
I don't
it's
either.
better to take an active role in your life and fight for the outcomes you want to see.
Sure. Do some soul searching. Like, actually maybe look at, like I said, take some accountability, look at what you're doing and
Right.
find ways out. But yeah, I just thought,
I mean, it all comes from, like, what's your fundamental belief about things? Do you believe there's order or chaos? Do you believe that there's a bigger plan or not? And, like,
yeah.
I think it's chaos, and if you just do nothing, it might work out great for you and it might work out terrible for you. But I'd rather, you know, have a active hand in that. And Rue's in this place where she's, you know, she's been through so much. I think the idea of a bigger plan and, you know, some kind of spirituality that speaks to, like, things are the way they are for a reason. I think that's all very attractive to her, and that makes sense. I mean, it's all very attractive to a lot of addicts. Religion is big with addicts, and there's a reason AA is a religious program.
Sure.
You know, I think there's aspects of the two that go hand in hand very nicely together, and people, you know, it's great that people can get out of addiction in whatever way they can get out. I'm not trying to, you know, dig it, but...
And some people go opposite. Like,
I think there's reasons why it's very attractive to addicts.
Of course. It brought up things for me, too. Like, I always tell you I relate to Rue in terms of, like, grieving, losing my dad, kind of trying to figure out your life after something so traumatizing at a young age. And it's interesting. I mean, obviously the drugs factor in, but... For me, I went opposite. Like, I was really religious growing up, and to what you just said, like, religion brings a lot of peace if you are in that vibe of, like, let go, let God, like, everything will just work out, there's a plan. That is really comforting when you're taught that, and that's all you know. So I totally get why that's enticing to her, because at one point in my life, that was all I knew, and it was very comforting, and it was really nice. But I went opposite. Like, when my dad died, it was like a wake-up call. I went, like, complete 360, like, wait, I thought there was a plan. This doesn't make sense in the plan. This is fucked. Like, I don't like this. Like, let go and let God, and this is what God did. Like, fuck God. So I find it interesting just with everything she's gone through. It's kind of, like, fun for me to see the opposite and, like, kind of watch through her eyes what's enticing to her going through something similar that I did, because I couldn't be more opposite. I went, like, away from religion, and she's almost, like, going full speed toward it, and I can totally understand and relate. It is very enticing, and it is really comforting if you're ready to accept that. And
even, you know, like what you just said, it kind of highlights why that approach is problematic and can maybe be, like, not the best for an addict. Like, Rue's saying explicitly that she, like, needs to live for something else, for, like, a bigger purpose, like, to be responsible to someone else, to be the best version of herself for someone else. But what if that other party disappears? Like, then you're left with nothing, because you've put all your chips, you've built who you are on this other person, and if they're not there anymore, you don't have anything to fall back on. Which is why I think Jules reacts. I mean, that's part of it, but I think that's part of why Jules is right to call this out as, like, you know, kind of bullshit. It seems like it's helping Rue in the short term, and maybe she's doing okay, but really, like, I think this is a bad line of thinking for her, because if she's not living for herself, if she's living for kids or for Jules or whatever, if those things go away, then you're left with nothing.
The kids. I was
and then
like,
what's she gonna do? Like, she's gonna probably fucking relapse. But even if she doesn't, she'll be left with nothing, like, because you've lived for someone else instead of yourself. And I think Jules sees through that and rightfully calls her out on it.
And hear me out. In a perfect world, I would love for Rue to have this dream she's painting of a life, a family, you know, the American dream, if you will. But it's like, sadly, like, come on, Rue. I can't be now. You have to be in a little better place. It can't be now.
You gotta,
like, I want it for her. I'm not saying like that's so crazy. Like, I do think there is a part of her that wants that. I don't think it's all just like a ditch thing. But to your point, like,
you gotta fix yourself first.
Yes. You gotta know what the fuck you're doing with your life. And I do think, though, she calls out a good point, though. Like, she was like, what did she say? She was like, people just have kids. And they just figure it out. I'm like, yeah, but that's why everyone's so fucked up. That's why you're so fucked up, Rue.
Yeah, exactly.
Because your parents probably did just have you. I don't know that for sure, but I'm like, but most people that are just fucked up it's because their parents were like,
it's a classic like pitfall to be like,
Yeah.
let's fix our broken relationship by having kids. That's like a known like joke. It's a stereotype, and Rue's totally doing that. Like, you know, if we have kids, everything will be great. Like,
so the epic slap though. Oh my lord, that slap.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of, like I said, I have a lot of thoughts. Is the anger stemming from Jules being frustrated with Rue overall, just through everything, or was that really about like the guy that she's with and like her situation? Like, did that really offend her that much, or do you think it was a culmination of like Rue just like popping
all
in?
Of it.
You think it's all of it?
I think it's all of it because Jules sees that Rue is right when she calls out Jules, and we've kind of been saying that the whole season that like
she's like hiding
Jules
away.
is kind of lost, like she just lives up there and paints and like doesn't really have what's the end game? What's the point? What's she doing? What's the plan? You know, she can't be with this guy full time ever. So is the plan to just stay up here alone and like paint forever? And like I think Rue's right to call her out on being a little directionless. And I think she knows she's kind of directionless and has kind of been like pigeonholed here without many options or much to do. And I think it probably stings. But then also I'm sure she's fucking pissed because here's Rue being like, let's be in a relationship. Weren't things so great all the time? Like, and Jules is like, no, they were terrible. And that's got to be annoying.
It's always like their timing, right? The theme all through the Euphoria is that their timing is like always so off. Like when one wants one, the other is like, fuck you, what do you mean? Or it's just a mess. But it does make me sad because I still really would love to see them together.
I know, same. I was sad too because I'm like, I'm a romantic. When Rue was coming up to Jules and like being all cute and stuff, I was like, yeah, you guys should be together.
Okay, but also I will say though, the only little thing that I'm kind of like, Jules, calm down just a little bit, is that she was like so overly flirty, like was clearly giving like full signals that she wants like Rue back. She was like, if you want me so badly, come get me. And I get that it was more like sexual tension and I'm not taking it that seriously, but I still think like Rue was getting probably some signs of like maybe this is a possibility because Jules is kind of leading her on in a way. But all that to be said, I thought it was interesting that Jules kind of called out like, you flake all the time. And I thought, oh yeah, I kind of forget like we're not obviously getting the full picture because we don't need to know every single little thing that happens in all these characters' lives. But she did make a point to say that you flake on plans all the time. Mm-hmm. So I thought they could be like, Jules could be reaching out to Rue more than we know in the show, like in this season, and we're not seeing it. And she's probably flaking due to all this like drug shit that she's involved in.
Or even if it's just before this, Rue's been like an addict for like years, and she's been soberish now. But like for the last 5 years, who knows how bad it's been?
Yeah, I guess I'm saying for all the people who really hate Jules, because I think she is one of the strongest like hated characters weirdly this season and season 2.
Crazy.
And I think that's wild because I'm like, I think you're forgetting all the context of how much Rue has put Jules through. I think we're all kind of sleeping on that. So let's remember that. And I do kind of think Rue deserved to get slapped. Maybe not that hard because it made me sad, but I'm kind of like,
I don't know if she deserved to get slapped, but well, she probably does for all the stuff she's done in the past.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's more to it.
Sure.
Is my point.
Yeah.
All I had to say on that last part was, again, I keep repeating, but Zendaya is just such a phenomenal actress. Like that elevator scene.
I was gonna say that too. Okay, I wrote that too.
Oh my god, like I was like choking up. It made me really, really sad.
Yeah.
Rue got super childlike in that scene.
That's what I wrote the same
no way.
fucking thing. Zendaya does a really good Rue, like crying Rue that makes you really sad, and it's because she looks really like scared and like childlike, and
like puppy dog.
Yeah, totally.
Also,
it like breaks your heart. You like want to just instantly like forgive her for whatever, and like
you want to hug her and
hold
her.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because in a way it's like what you pointed out last episode. It made me think a lot. Like you brought up that around Jules, she does get a little like sheepish and she acts differently. And I think it's because, you know, Jules is her first love. And I think it's hard to hear your first love be that harsh with you and critical. And I think it really does, like, bring her back. Like, it does throw her back to, like, her childlike state.
Yeah, I mean, she is still pretty much, like, a child, you know. She hasn't
Sure.
really
She
like
hasn't
learned to take care of herself very well, or like you know, grown that much because she's been stuck in survival mode. Yeah, that's funny that we
had the same. Yeah, that's really funny. But yeah, that scene. Woo.
Yep, good.
All right. Well, Cassie.
LA Nights.
LA Nights, baby.
She's got an interesting figure.
She's very womanly.
I love that line. It's so funny.
She's got an interesting figure, that one. Yeah, wild. I mean, first of all, the whole fit, it's giving like Disney Channel original movie, like the costumes. It's perfect though. Like, let's be honest. For like a Warner Brothers show, you're like, yep, it's clocking. But what did you think about the whole mental state of Cassie? Were you intrigued by it? Did you?
She seems a little unhinged, as the director says.
Sure.
I thought that was funny.
I didn't go too deep, but I did have a tiny moment where I felt like, is this a little breakthrough for her? Not in a very serious way, but like the fact that she really is like unhinged, like she's having a moment, she can barely like snap into reality. She's having like flashbacks of Nate, and I don't know. I guess I wrote down, I feel like, do we think it's sincere that maybe she is feeling a little bad about her actions, or no? Are we still just like, nope, she is totally... Well, when she was like, maybe I deserve it. Like, I did steal my best friend's guy, and like, she literally says it. She's like, I deserve it. Like, my wedding night, I was bleeding, and like, she's still very vain. But the fact she even uttered the words and actually for once out loud just said, like, I stole someone's boyfriend, I thought, is she having like a little bit of a breakthrough? Are we seeing a little bit of old Cassie? A little bit, not a lot, but like, was old Cassie coming through just a little bit? Like the one we know from season 1 that every now and then actually felt kind of bad about stuff, or like actually had a moral compass? Or are we still just like, nope, Cassie's full-fledged villain?
I don't know. Interesting.
Helpless, dumb.
I'm not sure. I didn't think that, but it makes sense. And yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe. My biggest note on this whole thing is I'm like really tired of
so hot.
I'm tired of seeing Cassie fail upwards. Like no matter how much she fucks up, it keeps working. I'm like, all right. I'm really hoping that the last 2 episodes are going to lead to a big like retribution for her, but you know, you never know. Maybe her storyline is one of vapid, soulless success where she ostracizes her family for personal gain, and you know, we're left to believe that at some future point in her life, maybe it'll be bad for her that she screwed over everyone she ever loved, or maybe not. And yeah, we'll
find out.
See.
You know
I kind
what?
of hope there's still a little like real retribution coming for her though.
Yeah, but don't you feel like it kind of perfectly showcases what's really taking place in the real world, which is despicable people get what they want. They win.
Yeah, totally.
Their life is going great.
I know. That's why I'm a little nervous that maybe she, you know, everything will work out for her in her eyes.
Like Cassie should be, you know, like not slaying at life. She should be. I mean, for all the bad things she's done, you think like her life would be going a little rougher, but if anything, she's thriving. She's succeeding. And I do feel like that's just, I mean, just the other week I was showing Alex, I'm sure a lot of our younger listeners know about like James Charles, like all these despicable influencers who literally are the actual scum of the planet, and they're the ones like getting mansions, like succeeding, like getting brand deals, getting like huge opportunities that people that deserve will never even come close to. And I think Sam's doing a good job of showing that
it is real.
That's real.
Yeah.
There's not one part of me that doesn't believe that. I've said it from day one. Some of the shittiest people get the best things, and then Lexi is a good contrast to that. Someone that like is putting in the work, does care, like she is getting an opportunity. I wrote actually that I love that Sharon Stone's character gives her a writing piece, because I'm like, to Lexi that means the world, and I always want to see her thrive, and I could tell that really excited her. So at least she's got that.
That's the goal. That's the dream.
At least she's got that. But again, to prove a point, in the real world, do we really think someone like Lexi's like getting the writing job? But like maybe, but like it's not as often. It's not as often that people like Lexi are rewarded in the world.
Probably, but maybe like 15 years later, like after being the bitch
like,
intern for like, you know, forever.
After getting Starbucks every day for like 100 years.
Yeah, right. I don't know if it would happen this fast, but you know, good for her. I really hope that her getting to write Cassie's character, I hope she gives us something funny there.
Yep.
I hope that they kill her off in some comedic way at least.
Yeah, and I loved, obviously, like, I'm sure you picked up on that, but I do think that's foreshadowing, like, the actual season when they're like, well, the show gets kind of boring if you don't kill off someone every now and then. And I was, like, thinking that's funny. Like, I bet that's Sam pointing out that everyone's like, who's gonna die? Who's gonna die?
Somebody's gonna die in the next episode?
I don't know, not the next, but, like, I think he's hinting, or, like, jesting at the fact that like everyone's constantly like, who's gonna die in Euphoria? Is it Nate? Is it Jules? Right. I've heard every character. I've literally even heard this time that maybe Lexi dies. I'm like, calm down, everybody. Like, Lexi's not dying.
What?
Because there's like a body bag in the trailer for next week, and everyone's like, maybe it's like,
oh come on,
Lexi gets caught in the crossfires.
If anybody's dying, it's like, you know, Nate or Rue. That's it. Maybe Cassie. Like,
oh, I was gonna say Cassie.
It could be Cassie because they could make that Nate's like ultimate punishment. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, sometimes that's a classic like gangster thing. Sometimes it's like, instead of killing you, we're gonna like make you watch us like kill your wife. Well, or something.
She got the package.
Then you have to live with that.
Some people are thinking that's like step one into like dragging her into now this like scary situation where they might use her as like the
maybe they'll make Nate watch,
because it's not working with Nate. It's not working. The pinky toe, the pinky finger, and who knows now what, and he's still not seeming very scared. So I think they are going to have to use her. I think that's why she got the package.
Interesting.
So
maybe you know, what are the betting odds? It's got to be Cassie, Nate, and Rue in the top three.
I actually think Sydney and Rue are at the top for me. Sydney, Cassie. I get them all confused.
Interesting. All right.
Why did the note say answer the phone in Cassie's package? I don't know why. That threw me off.
We don't know yet.
We don't know. It's like because I was like, is she like not picking up her phone?
I don't think we know.
What does that mean?
She's the one that's been calling Nate a lot, so I imagine she's all over her phone because she like calls him later and he doesn't answer. So I think we don't know yet, was how I thought of it.
Not to go too long on Nate, but again, I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse. I will be honest. This is the only time I am with the audience. Just kill Nate or get rid of him. I'm so bored. Like, his character.
I like his storyline. I think it's funny.
I liked it, but this episode I was like, I'm full cringe. I was like, I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was weird. He's just stomping on flat. It seemed a little hokey. I was a little like.
But he is like a comedic element this season. He doesn't have a serious storyline.
He's a buffoon.
He has like a comedy storyline.
I don't know.
I didn't mind it.
Again, I don't need something that's so deep, but like, he was such a strong character that I'm saying, when I say aside with the audience, I understand why people are a little bummed. I do think he could have been explored more in a different route, and I'm not hating it, I guess is what I'm saying, but I understand why people are like, what the fuck? Like, I wanted more. Like, he was a psychopath. Like, we thought we were just gonna get more out of his story, and I kind of feel the same. Like, I'm not itching to like know more about Nate, but I am pretty surprised by like what a clown they're making him. Like, even the music when he was stomping on the flowers, it sounded like a circus like track. I was like, they're really just full on like, Nate is a full clown. He's not to be taken seriously. Do you agree? I don't think it's even.
Yeah, I don't mind because I feel like it's, you know, it emphasizes like. It emphasizes
he deserves it, or like
not that he
how
deserves
stupid he
it.
is.
I think it emphasizes how much of like a nobody he is. When we've spent 2 seasons thinking this man is like the biggest villain, he's like this like character, and we have all these feelings about him, and there's these like weird things with Jules. And in reality, he's just kind of a loser. He's a loser who had a wild dad. He, you know, he was abused by his dad, like he was. Yep. And he was a horrible person, and he was the big high school hotshot guy.
Totally.
And he just didn't have what it takes to like turn that into anything, and he got himself into the kind of trouble that people like that get themselves into, which is thinking they're hot shit. they can, you know, be the big man and
He
do
peaked.
the big
He
thing.
peaked in high school, and now he's a total fucking loser.
Yeah.
He's the one you see at your high school reunion that you're like...
I think his irrelevance serves that arc, like,
Sure.
of him being, like, the prom king type.
I was going to say, he's the one at your
Yeah.
high school reunion where you go, I can't believe I ever thought this guy was cool. He's such a fucking loser. That's Nate.
Yeah. And his, like,
That's Nate
buffoony
Jacobs.
portrayal and his lack of significance to what's really going on kind of emphasizes that, I think. So I don't really mind it.
No. I also wrote very, very shallow and just not that important, but I wrote that Cassie in this episode to me was dressing how, like, Sabrina Carpenter dresses and all these, like... You and I were talking about this phase of, like, weirdness, how, like, a lot of celebrities are wearing, like, lingerie for, like, every single, like, fit on stage, on tour, like Sabrina. And I was kind of thinking, like, it's crazy that we're all sitting here, like, making fun of Cassie and, like, making her out to be a clown when, like, all of her style is, like, what girls are wearing and what people think is, like, cute and, like, hot.
Yeah.
And not to be a hater, but I do think, like, Sabrina Carpenter's
haters.
whole style is, like, just lame.
Yeah.
But... And again, I don't care. Like, wear what you want. It's not that, so don't come for me for that. But I do think it's a little, like, it's just, like, a little overdone. It's a little silly. And I was thinking, like, Cassie, we're all, like, the audience is, like, hating her, thinking she's so over-sexualized, this and that. And I'm like, she's just dressed, like, how Sabrina Carpenter dresses, and everyone puts her on this pedestal of, like, she's such a badass bitch. Like, she doesn't care. Like,
It's a mirror.
She's so hot. And I'm
Agree.
like, huh, interesting. Wonder if
Yeah.
they'd be saying that if she was doing OnlyFans and not, like, performing her concert. I don't know. I just feel like the internet gets crazy, and I'm just like,
It's a good mirror. A lot of people live with cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, I've learned
They don't
that.
align their beliefs.
Yeah, but I wrote that. I just thought that was, like, kind of...
Yeah.
For me as a girl, seeing how many women are, like, hating the show and what Sam Levinson's giving these women characters is, like, you know, they're like... Does she have to be in her underwear all the time? I'm like,
Wow.
have you been to a Sabrina Carpenter's concert?
Wow.
She's in her underwear the entire time.
Right.
But that's hot and that's empowering and that's cool. But then when it's like in Euphoria, it's trashy. It's give them more. Oh, I wish I could see her being a librarian or her being a mom. I'm like, shut the fuck. Like, this is so dumb. Let's just get her off the
goofy.
pedestal. I just get really fired up about it because I'm tired of this whole, like, women projecting that they care so much about other women when really, like, the minute someone like Cassie shows up on screen doing OnlyFans, it's an uproar. It's disgusting. I wish we could be seeing her in a different role. I just think it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
It says a lot about our
it's-
culture right now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just a valid reflection of things that are successful at capturing the cultural zeitgeist.
Sure.
Like, you know.
On that same note, I wrote down, I love that Sharon, I don't forget her character name. I think it's Patty, the show director.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I love that she wrote, love the storyline. I love how risque it is.
Risque, yeah.
I was like, that's also definitely nodding to Euphoria. I think he's putting in little, like, jests about the show.
Little meta reference.
Yeah. I think it's funny.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's fun. I also liked that the actual, like, director, the lady played by Colleen Camp, I like that she called out Clute as a movie doing, like, the sex worker storyline.
When did she call it out? When they're doing the
talking
the
about
improv scene?
No, like later when they're talking about whether they should continue her storyline or not. She's like, oh, it's like very Clute, like, and then she named something else. I
What's
forget
the
what.
reference again? So
It's a
Clute's
movie.
a movie?
It's a movie with I think Jane Fonda and Donald Sutherland.
Cool.
It's actually on my very short list of movies I need to see, but
you
it's
haven't
supposed
seen
to be
it.
excellent. I haven't seen that one.
Okay, homework.
It's kind of
Homework.
like it's a detective noir like thing, you know,
That's fun.
detective vibes.
Did you have anything else about LA Nights? I feel like that was it for me.
The only other thing I had about LA Nights was that I loved that the walk-on character was called Oceana.
Oceana.
Nice.
Love
That is
it.
the kind of stupid name they would give someone on, like, a show like that.
For sure. That's why I wrote it's like Disney Channel.
Yeah.
It's
oh,
giving
totally.
Disney Channel 1,000.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we kind of touched on the church scene a little bit, but I wrote in all caps in my notes, give Zendaya the Emmy this year. Give it to
For
her.
sure, yeah.
Just give it to her. I'm sorry. Like, this was excellent. The whole church scene was beautiful. I mean, between the elevator, the church scene, the final scene, she is just doing such a good job. Even the scene when she's in the ground, like she was funny, like talking to Faye on the phone. Like she's just so good at being Rue. She literally just fully transforms, and I go to like another place. I feel like I like know Rue. Like I really feel like she's a friend of mine that I'm like worried about when I'm watching the show.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way about many things.
It's great. She's amazing. I agree. She's really a standout.
I liked the
whole
phone
church scene was
call.
amazing. I love the way that whole scene went down. I liked the music. I love the choice to have it just be Rue and you don't hear her mom the whole time.
Yep.
The camera work, the lighting, like that whole scene was
Beautiful.
really just like, that's the type of stuff where like when I'm like gushing over Euphoria, I'm like, this is like the knockout stuff where it's like, you know, really stand out
Yeah.
work that you don't see on a lot of shows.
No.
That was just like so beautifully done and really well executed. And then like the cutaway to the mom just at the very end. So good. Like,
So good.
Fucking banging choice to play it that way where it's just for the whole time and then cut away for that last bit. Love that choice.
I didn't get to tell you because we try not to talk after the episode, but it was so funny. Nika King like posted this video on her story. The girl who plays her mom, Leslie's the mom's name.
Yeah.
Rue's mom. How she just has the one line, and obviously like it's very impactful, like to your note. So like it's not a bad thing, but she was watching Euphoria live, and her mom in the background goes, "We waited 4 years for this." She's like, "Do y'all hear my mom like clowning on me right now? Like, are you kidding me?" But it is funny because like this whole cast has waited for years, and it is cool that she's back. But I do think even just her one line though, like it was done very well, and you really felt like that feeling of calling your parent and how hard that must be for Rue every time to have to call her and kind of like just like a little bit of having that like humility, but also again just going back to that childlike state where she's literally like talking to her mom. And I thought it was so sad when she was like, it is really hard out here like being alone.
Yep.
And you're like, you know, it's sad to watch her like feel that way because you're like, yeah, welcome to adulthood, my girl. It sucks. It's really nice when you're at home and like we say this all the time, you and I even, and we've gone through like none of this, but like it is, you know, you miss the days, you reminisce on when you can go home and be with your parents if you're lucky enough to have that. And
yeah, fuck rent.
Yeah, fuck just going to work and doing
Shout out
thing.
to the great parents out there.
Yeah, but I thought there was a little bit of foreshadowing maybe when she says I'm coming home soon. I thought that could just mean literally I'm coming home, but I kind of took it as like in the religious aspect. I didn't love that she was in a church and said it so like emotionally. She
could
was
mean
like,
many things. We'll see.
Yeah, and again, I could be looking too deep, but I thought I wrote down foreshadowing? Question mark?
Could be good, could be bad. Yeah. I've noted that kind of what I talked about earlier about this not being a real like a filler episode. I thought the heavy focus on Rue in this episode, especially the last few scenes, the church scene, like the scene at the strip club, the scene with Jules, all of that, I thought was a really smart choice to make it a heavy Rue episode because it reminds you big time like why you're so invested in her as a character and also like what the stakes are before the last two episodes because everything's gonna pop off. So
all right, I take it back. I take it back.
No, I'm not ripping like the take. I just mean it was nice to like have a moment to like reconnect with Rue as a character a lot before everything goes fucking crazy because I will be shocked if the next two episodes don't go like pretty crazy.
Yep. I mean, shit's about to go down. And at the beginning, if you remember, I said filler episode, but there were parts of it that didn't make it that way for me. And it was exactly what you said, which is Zendaya acting in these scenes made me remember why I love Euphoria, why I'm even here in the first place, why I give a shit, why I want to, you know, why I literally started a podcast. It's like because I care about Rue's story. She's she's the core of the show for me. So yeah, like this episode was monumental in that aspect.
Yep, and it's gonna make the action, you know, hit so much harder now that we've like had these moments with Rue. Seeing her in ultra dangerous, gnarly life or death situations, it's going to make that feel like way more
weighted.
Weighted. Yep.
I also, you know, I think people in general, not just me, like even I noticed online a lot of the viewers saying that like this was an episode that people felt like went back to Euphoria's roots, and I'd have to agree. So that's why I didn't want to label it like a filler episode. I feel like it was very Euphoria coded, if you will, like giving the background story on Alamo as like the intro. That's very old Euphoria, like starting off with a backstory, then giving a lot more emotion, whereas the rest of the season has been it's been different, but in a great way. But it has been very different, and this felt the most back home. Like we're back to like OG Euphoria. We're getting like the in-depth emotion, the romance of it all.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so we'll, I guess, head to the strip.
Yeah, strip club. White Snake.
A lot of snakes. A lot of snakes this episode.
I loved when G came up and held the rat right in front of Rue's face. Like,
she goes, what the fuck is that?
The rat in front of the rat, you know. I was like, I wonder if
so good.
I wonder if Bishop really noticed that, but that
of course
was funny.
he did. Yeah, that was like a direct, like, it was hilarious.
That was great. I love that we finally learned, you know, the deal about the snake.
Yeah.
We learned what the snake means.
Sweet snake.
Another, you know, very interesting aspect to Alamo. Like, he finds it crucial to have a reminder that you don't know, like, people's intentions, because he went through this experience thinking his mom was one way and she wasn't. You know, and he's never going to get fooled like that again. So he has this ultra visible reminder of exactly that. That whole story was so great about how I wanted to eat the girl. I loved that. And you know that's gotta mean somebody's getting eaten, right?
Of course.
It's Chekhov's snake. If you put a snake on screen and on the poster and you say it eats a human, the snake's gotta eat a human.
Do you want to hear the funny take?
What's the funny take?
Some people were joking that Cassie holding the snake at the club was like the snake sizing up who's gonna die.
Why? What do you mean?
She's holding the snake. When she's like, is this dangerous? And she's posing with the snake, people were joking it was like wrapped all around her. So they were like, it's a foreshadowing.
She's gonna die?
The snake's like sizing her up.
Yeah.
I'm like kidding. It's like not that
she'll
serious.
be the one to die because she was getting...
she's getting sized.
Maybe. I don't know. That was such a good scene, though. Bishop's going to be so much trouble for Rue. He's got her pegged. He knows she's, like, way too sus. He's keeping a close eye on her.
The mom?
It's going to be bad. I think, like, it's
So what do you think about that, though? Because when... I forget what he said. He was like, it's going to be real awkward when your mom finds out. Or what does he say? I forget. He says something like it's gonna be real awkward.
He said it'll be really awkward if your mom finds out that I lied to her, or if I had to lie to your mom, or something along those lines. Because he says that he called her to tell her what a good job Rue was doing.
What do you think that means? Like I was a little confused by that. Does that mean he's like posing as like someone in her life that's just like, yo, what up? Rue's doing great. Bye. Or
yeah, he was like calling like as her manager probably and being like. Telling her that she's doing a great job, all for the purpose of like backing up what Alamo said the other week. They know about Rue's family and they're openly threatening Rue's family. So the stakes are now not just Rue's life; it's like her, her family.
Adjusting here,
which just makes it all the crazier because it's not just about Rue. If she fucks up, she understands now that her family's life is on the line, and that's what Alamo in the diner saying, and that's what Bishop's saying here is like, we're threatening your family. We know who your family are. We know where they are. I've spoken on the phone with your mother. Like, your family's dead if you're fucking.
I was sad that Gia wasn't in this season, but now I'm not sad because I'm like, that means she's safe.
Yeah.
Because like I'm a little nervous.
Oh, that doesn't mean she's safe. They know.
But like we know she's pretty safe. Storm Reed's like not in the cast. She's not in the show. Oh, this is so off topic.
I'm not saying I actually think they'll kill Gia, but hypothetically, she's in danger.
So very off topic. Don't hate me for bringing this up. But I actually am curious. I thought Elliot was going to be in this. Dominic Fike was going to be in this season of Euphoria. We only have 2 episodes left.
Is he? I thought he was.
He has not been in it yet.
No, I know, but I thought they confirmed
that he was. No, I'm saying, do you actually think he's going to show up? Like, the big showdown's about to go down. How the hell would he fit in?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I guess like
I'm like half joking, but I was like excited to see Dominic. So.
Yeah, I think he'll still be in it. I don't know why they'd say that if he wasn't gonna be, right?
Well, editing sometimes they just like afterward are like, maybe we don't need that.
Yeah, I guess.
We'll see.
I mean, I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, all right, so 2 episodes left. I feel like there's 3 major ways that people end a show. when you're at the 2 episode mark. It's like episode 7, things are going according to plan, and then something goes super wrong right at the end that gets dealt with in episode 8, and it's all action.
Sure.
Or you can do episode 7 is like a total like out of the storyline episode. It's like a flashback, a flash forward, a like side story, something like completely separate from the main action. And then episode 8, you jump back into the main action.
Totally.
Maybe that's where something like that comes in.
Yep.
Maybe we get some episode that fills in something important that happened in the meantime.
Sure.
Between 2 and 3, I don't know.
You're right.
Or you can go...
the flashback is a thing in Euphoria for sure. So I could definitely see...
Or you can do episode 7, everything gets resolved action-wise, and episode 8 is like a weird low-stakes conclusion episode where it's like, here they are now in the future, or here's how everything wraps up, but the action's already resolved in 7. So I'm like, which of those are we going to get?
Which one?
But I could see Dominic fitting into a few of those. It could be
Yeah.
like... what if Rue's almost dying and she's having flashbacks? What if Rue makes it through and gets to see Elliot again?
Again, not
I don't
like
know.
not that important. I love Elliot. So I was like, where is he? Where's Elliot?
It's gonna be interesting to see if they follow one of those 3 patterns, though. I think I think it'll fall into one of those, and I'm not sure which.
Yeah, well, I'm worried for Rue and her mom being involved now. It is scary. Like I said last episode, once your family's involved, it's serious shit. Like,
yeah, they've made it clear that they are threatening her family at this point, so it's bad.
Scary. Yeah.
Stakes are high.
It also makes me sad because anytime Rue's, not doing well and her mom's disappointed in her, I like feel it too. I'm like, oh, like I hate it. And boy, she's gonna be beyond disappointed when she finds out what's going on.
Hopefully she never does.
Well, don't say that, 'cause that could mean her mom dies.
Well, I think she would find out what was going on if she was dying.
That's true. But anything else about at least that part, or should we just head into the big grand finale?
No.
So we get Rue obviously driving her truck, listening to her little Bible stories. Mm-hmm. She's not very far in the Bible. She's only on Exodus. She's got a while to go. I'm just saying.
Right, I didn't even notice that.
She's not that far, but she's been busy.
That's funny.
Our girl's been booked and busy.
You're right.
She's got a lot going on between the DEA, Alamo, and Lori.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on.
Fair.
But yeah, this part's cool. I thought it was a great way to end the episode. I think we all kind of saw this coming, meaning we saw like Rue kind of needing some sort of sign or some sort of opportunity to get redemption, or it's kind of like a plea for God. It's like, you there, God? It's me, Rue. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was a
very interesting scene.
Very, again, over the top, like cinematic. So cool.
Is it a hallucination or is it real?
I don't know.
Is God real in the Euphoria universe? Is he really speaking to Rue? Is it all a vision?
I think it's going to be left to our interpretation.
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, I don't think
we'll get the concrete answer, but it's interesting to consider.
Or, if you're taking it very literally, which I had to write it down because we all know Paige is not reading the Bible anymore or at all, ever. But, so the actual scripture is Exodus 14:13. Moses answered the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still."
Interesting.
So that's why it's like stand still and see. It's based obviously on that scripture, which I know is obvious, but I say that because you could interpret that in so many different directions.
For sure.
She could be... I was seeing online a lot of people were saying maybe she'll do something similar, like Moses leads the people. Maybe she saves someone or saves the girls at the club. I don't really think that myself, but there were some hints to like, will Rue be redeemed through some sort of act of like kindness or leadership or something through all this chaos? Like, will she do something that redeems her in some way? Or is this, completely different? Is it, I hate to say it, but Moses dies. He does, he sees the bush, but he dies before the good thing happens.
Yep.
So Rue could be her redemption is, saving someone or doing something good like Moses did. Like people are.
But maybe she never lives to see the outcome of the good thing. Yeah.
So again, it could go in so many directions, but important obviously to understand the Bible nuance of it all because it's clearly Sam clearly had a reason of putting a lot of this in there. So I don't know. I'm curious to see where it goes. But damn, yeah, burning bush, baby.
I loved the the whole scene was great, but especially like all the tension with the truck and then the imagery of the burning tree. I was like, okay, after Euphoria, I need Sam Levinson to do a horror movie.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
Just like the pacing of that scene and the shots and the music and everything. I was like, all right, I need all this in like a horror movie package.
Awesome.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick.
Damn, I didn't and I already said Zendaya should be in a horror movie.
And he loves horror movies, so.
Oh man.
I'm hoping for a post Euphoria horror
awesome.
movie. But yeah, the music in that scene, I'm gonna use that to lead into my snake take.
Snake take, snake take.
Snake take. This week's snake take. I really liked for the first time, fully the whole episode, the music. Music was great this episode. Front to back, not just like isolated bits that I did or didn't like. I really liked all the music in this episode, and I think it makes sense because things are getting increasingly movie-esque. Last week was a much more TV episode, more episodic, jumping around between characters, doing funny weird asides. This week it's like, okay, we're in like the last 3 episodes. This is gonna be like kind of like one big movie, I think.
Yeah.
That would be my prediction.
I agree.
And I think that this is where I see why they are doing the Hans Zimmer thing, and I think the movie score works really well here, where it hasn't really like been hitting for a lot of the season. I have to like admit, I did like the music a lot in this episode, especially that ending song that plays during the burning tree and goes all the way through the credits. That little like super fast arpeggiated thing they're doing is crazy. That little synth like line.
I wrote the same notes.
That was wild. I really liked that. But I liked a lot of the stuff. I liked the music in the scene when Cassie's deleting OnlyFans and she walks across the room slow and is debating. I thought that was great. It's like very tense, kind of classic, a little horror, a little operatic. That was cool. I really liked when they're doing the meet between Lori and Alamo, and you get this real like classic Western Mexican standoff thing with the horns, and that was great.
And then I mentioned Rune Jewels. I loved that. That was super nice. Beautiful.
I loved the ultra charge, go to war, like Western music when Alamo's coming at Rue down the hill.
So good.
I liked all the 70s kind of funky stuff and the Alamo backstory.
Yeah.
So, and, I hate that they fucked over Labyrinth.
Hans Zimmer,
I will always say it sucks that they fucked over Labyrinth. But at least in this episode, the Zimmer music, I think, like, really clicked for me as opposed to just being, like, one-offs.
I agree.
I was like, all right.
I took the same note, by the way. Same notes.
That's this week's snake take.
Well, for once, we can cheers to us having the same note, because I literally wrote the same thing. I will have to show you, though, after this. Labyrinth has been dropping weekly, like, tracks, like he said he would, and he had one called Tarantino that dropped the other night, and I listened to it. I'm not gonna lie, like, again, I'm totally torn. Excellent. Love it. Could totally picture it in the episode.
What scene do you think it went with?
So, okay, not this episode in particular, though. To your point, I'm bummed that whatever happened, we don't know. But I'm really bummed they just couldn't, like, somehow work together. Because I think his stuff would have worked better for what you just said. The more, like, jumping around, because that's always been Euphoria. Very fast-paced, very jumping character to character. Different scenes. Where, like, this was a little more back to its core, a little more emotional, a little more cinematic. It is different this season, the Western standoff. So, like, to your note, I just wish they could have worked together, because I think Labyrinth's music he's dropping is really good. Like, I listened and I'm like, I know you would laugh, though, because there was some... The only thing I'll call out is, like, Alex always, like, jokingly, like, loves Lab, but, like, laughs at all the, like, hooting and hollering, like, all the...
Yeah.
And because it's, like, Western, there's definitely, like, animal sounds and stuff. But I think it's, like, funny. But again, I like it, though, because it's very Euphoria-esque. It just...
Did it sound like it was? Do you
It's
have
Western.
any scene in mind that you think it was built for? Because to me, it sounds like it had to be something in Alamo's backstory.
For sure.
Or like the standoff.
How about
with
this?
the meeting with Lori. Those sound kind of like where I could see it.
I'll play it for you later when we have like a post drink after recording, and then we can talk about it next week and kind of like revisit what we think. But it's fun. Like all I'm saying is overall, I am frustrated that they couldn't just have like had them both, because I think they both fit really well. I think Hans has strengths where like Labyrinth wouldn't, and vice versa. So
I think the ideal outcome, I agree, the ideal outcome would have been both. And for any aspiring film students out there, or editing students, once the whole season's out and all of Labyrinth's music is out, somebody definitely needs to do a hybrid rescoring of this season.
Yeah, for sure. People are already doing it on TikTok.
I would love to
stuff.
watch somebody's thought out rescore of this season, mixing both.
Yep.
That's a good project. Somebody should do that as their final project.
For sure. And also, again, like, I love Labyrinth so much, love his music, but it's okay to just say, like, I do think there's some episodes that maybe it just wouldn't be a good match. Like, I did feel the church scene is a great instance of, like, sure, last season, the church scene with Labyrinth was so impactful. It was so good, but, like, this season's different. Like, this, we kind of needed it to be quiet. We needed it to be a little more, like, okay, like bring it down a little more Hans-esque, if you will, like instrumental, less of the
more traditional.
Yeah, I just think that's it. Like, and I don't think in a good way. I don't think Labyrinth's traditional. He's just not, and that's what makes him Labyrinth. Like, he's a baller. He's great, but he has a totally different take. So yeah, all that to be said, there is some really good music. I just haven't shown you yet, so we'll look into it. Cool. I guess my last take before we end is, what's to come. I feel like I disagree with a lot of the sentiment. I think a lot of the general public is worried that 2 episodes is not going to wrap up this whole season well. I've seen the sentiment of like 2 episodes and 100 storylines to wrap up.
No,
I couldn't disagree more.
I don't think so.
I knew you would agree with me, but that is like, even like the press, just like in general, people's take has been that. I would say this. Everyone needs to, again, I'm always saying calm down, but like calm down. We don't need every character's storyline we don't need some epic conclusion for every single character. This is just an introspective of their adulthood. So like, we don't need every storyline to be wrapped, in other words. We do need like Rue, right? Like the big ones. Yeah, like we want closure as viewers, but like, I don't need to know what Lexi's storyline ends. It could just be like,
well, it doesn't. I mean, someone like...
Does that make sense,
like
though? I'm just saying.
Like
that's what I'm saying. There's no end. But people are like, what's going to happen with... Like, how are they going to wrap that up? I'm like...
You don't need to necessarily... Yeah,
we don't need to know. We don't need to know. We don't need to know where Alexi ends up. You can close your eyes and daydream all day about where she'll end up. It's just not that important. Or, like, even Jules, they're like, they've given her nothing. Like, how will we know? I'm like... I don't think I need to, like, know, like, where Jules ends up. I just want to know...
Well, there's a difference between...
I want to know where Rue ends up, and then maybe everyone else comes, like...
Where someone ends up and what's next for them are not the same thing. And you're right, we don't need to know where everyone ends up, but I think we should just know what's next for them.
Everyone's just so definitive.
But I don't think there aren't that many storylines to wrap up. I don't think that's that crazy at all. There's going to be... Nate in his crime. Cassie's got her career. I don't think there's really anywhere to... there's nothing significant that you have to do with Lexi's character.
No, Maddie, not really. Like, they're all just kind of living their life.
They're going to either set her on the Alamo path, or she's going to, like, recoil from that, and it's going to be too gross for her one way or the other. Like, it's not that hard to, like... I don't know. I don't think there's that much, like, hanging out there.
No, I feel like we're just flies on the wall of, like, their adulthood. I don't need some, like... epic closure for every single character. I'm like, there's definitely like obviously, again, like the big ones, I would love to see a little bit of closure, but
nah, I don't agree with that. There's shows that have been in a lot worse of a place.
Oh, for
There's
sure.
only 2 episodes left than this.
Also, we already said the finale is is the longest HBO's ever recorded in history. So it's like, well, it's gonna be like a movie. I think there's plenty of time for Sam.
They have like 3 hours to wrap this up too. It's gonna be fine.
God, I really wish they were showing this in theaters for the finale like they did Stranger Things. I would love to, like, see how this all ends on a big screen. I just think that it's so, like, beautiful and fun to watch. I'm like, oh, I'd love to be, like, with an audience.
It'd be cool.
You know?
I agree.
I love nothing more than an audience reaction live to like something I love. So it'd be fun to like get to experience that. But
yeah, I agree.
But yeah, wow, we have a lot coming up, and I'm a little sad. I feel like it always goes by so fast. So I'm like, I can't believe we only have 2 episodes, I guess.
Pretty wild.
I'm sad, but I'm also very excited.
Well,
yeah, I don't have
2
much
left.
else. Oh,
episode 7 is going to be fucking crazy.
Well, we're going to pitch it one more
think.
time. Don't forget, link in bio on our Instagram. It's also on our website. Please, please, please give us your opinions, your hot takes on the episode. Leave us a voicemail. We'll keep you anonymous if you want, but we definitely want to open up the conversation. Alex and I, here we thought, oh, this episode was shorter. We're not going to talk that long. We're already like an hour 40 in. So it's like, I don't want to be the only one blabbing. I'd love to hear what you all have to say. So please, please, please feel free to give us your thoughts. And
yes.
We appreciate all the listens, all the support, and I'm just so stoked for what's ahead.
See you next Tuesday.
That's so euphoric.
That's euphoric.
Like today's episode? Great. We love that for you. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Leave us a podcast review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever the fuck you listen to us weekly. And be sure to follow us on Instagram at @so_euphoric for all the Euphoria updates you could ever possibly want in your life. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out, bitches.